Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the mic, he is the Pro Wrestling Savant, the host of the hottest wrestling podcast on the internet, Nerdy D!
What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the most distinguished pro wrestling podcast on the internet, the Pro Wrestling's Burning Questions with the Savant. I am your host, Nerdy D, aka the Pro Wrestling Savant, aka the single greatest podcaster of this generation in pro wrestling. And joining me tonight is my beautiful and lovely wife, Miss Lauren.
What's up, y'all?
Each and every week, I sit here and talk pro wrestling from the perspective of a real fan. I'm not here to ask for donations. I'm not one of those guys, infamous opinionist. I'm here to talk my shit and just piss the internet off. If you have questions that you want to submit to the show, you can do that through YouTube or on TikTok or by emailing questions@pwsavant.com. So, Lauren, I'm wrestling with, and this is pun intended here,
Okay.
the format of this show.
All right.
The last couple weeks, I've been trying different methods, right? So
Okay.
I've tried to go 100% kayfabe,
Yeah.
which is just all in on acting like wrestling is real.
Yeah.
I've tried to go 50% kayfabe, 50% opinion. I've gone all opinion. I've tried answering 7 burning questions like in a first take style,
Yeah.
right? I've thought, do I go strictly WWE and just appeal to that audience? Do I go strictly AEW? Or do I try to balance this show and take both sides? Or do I just piss one half of the audience completely off, right? Which
Okay.
what I seem to do all the time anyway. But what I've realized is there's not a one size fits all for this, especially for me, right?
Yeah.
Because my favorite part of this is just giving off the cusp opinions. There's not a deep amount of thought that goes in what I say on a weekly basis. I'm literally just saying the thoughts that come to my head while I'm watching pro wrestling. I enjoy the kayfabe part of it. I enjoy believing it's real. I actually think wrestling is much more fun when you let it just be real.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you 100%. I'm a prime example.
Yeah, we get 100 comments a day telling us wrestling is fake. Wrestling, it's fake. It's scripted, right? And I feel sorry for those people, who don't understand that I have a degree in audio-visual production. So clearly, I understand what I'm doing here. It's all part of a plan to get people to react in a certain way, and we get the reaction we want.
Yeah.
B, I feel sorry for people who just can't fucking play along. They just can't play along. It's supposed to be fun. This is an extension of the WWE universe. This is fan fiction. It's fan fiction, right? It's an extension of the story that goes on TV. I'm just fucking, it's a creative outlet, a place to just have fun for an hour a week.
Yeah.
And there's people who get that. And the people who get that, I think they enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think they enjoy that part of it. That we're not taking this serious. I don't live and breathe pro wrestling. In fact, on my list of things I do, it's not even like top 5.
Yeah.
It's just a fun entertainment thing, right? We also get comments all the time about, have you ever been in a wrestling ring? And to that, I fucking say, I played Division I basketball, okay? Basketball at the highest level outside of playing professional basketball.
Yeah.
And I don't think by any means my opinion on basketball is any more qualified than someone who never stepped foot on a basketball court. Especially when you're giving your opinion from a fan's perspective. And that's all this podcast has been, is it's me giving my opinions, claiming to be the fucking smartest man in pro wrestling, but from a fan's perspective.
Yeah.
Now, you know this, I know this. The internet is a fucking crazy place.
Yes.
Right? I've learned that no matter what I say, it doesn't matter what I say. There's 50% that love it and there's 50% that hate it. And I can literally go down the comments in a video and just see alternating versions of go fucking kill yourself. This is a stupid take. And right after that, it'll be thank God someone finally said it. I'm with you, brother. It's this phenomenon. It doesn't matter what you say. Half the people love it. Half the people hate it. And then there's the few people who just fucking get it, right?
Yes.
They just get it. They don't have to agree. They understand what's happening here. They understand that I'm just throwing out crazy fucking opinions and that I'm not always aiming to be right. A lot of shit I say I know is wrong. It's just shit that comes to my head, right? And I know that it's either it's an honest opinion or it's something that I'm saying that I know will inspire a conversation. It will get people talking.
Yeah.
Because I literally give zero fucks about what people think of this podcast. I'm literally just either speaking to the people who understand or I'm here to antagonize the people who can't fucking understand it, and I'll troll them for analytics and pull their puppet strings and just make them fucking dance, right? There's one guy who fucking swears that I think Roman Reigns is a better wrestler than Stone Cold Steve Austin. And to him, yes, I do. I do. Whatever helps you come to my page and talk shit, it's whatever you want to believe, right? It's kayfabe. I'm all in on this thing, right? And yeah. I don't care. I'll podcast for 1,000 people. I'll podcast for 10 people. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's get to now. Having said that, the last couple of weeks, you've been doing an awesome job on editing all the TikTok videos and making sure that that's been running smoothly.
Yeah.
That's been running real well. I have slipped up on the YouTube part, and the Spotify has been completely non-existent, as people have told me.
Oh, really?
So
People have been looking for it?
Well, I've just stopped posting it because, fuck, by the time we finish this, it's usually midnight.
Yeah.
And then we have to do our real people stuff.
Yeah.
Real life stuff, right?
Yeah.
And usually I get around and it's already...
Oh, well, I've been posting, like, go check out the full episode.
I know
are probably
that.
Like,
and,
where the fuck is the full episode?
And so there's people who've been like, hey, bro, where's the Spotify? And so I'm saying, but I'm committing to right now, I'm at least going to get the full episodes up on YouTube with a thumbnail and a description so that you know what's in the episode. And I will do the same for Spotify.
Cool.
I've tried fucking like Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts. I'm going to stick with Spotify. It's the easiest. And if you want to hear it audio, that's where you go. You either go, it'll be on Anchor and it'll be on Spotify.
Cool.
And so that I clear that up. Definitely going to try and figure that out and get that working better. Right.
All right.
All right. So now we got a little bit of in-house business to talk about here. Last week in the middle of the podcast, you broke a tooth.
Oh, fuck.
You chipped a tooth, right?
I did, definitely.
So you chipped a tooth in the middle of the episode and you literally said nothing about it.
No.
Like a fucking trooper, you just fucking plowed through the rest of the episode not saying anything. Now, that's what I was going to say. You did give me some crazy ass answers to the episode that I was like, is she just not watching wrestling anymore? Is she falling asleep when we're watching wrestling? To which I found out afterwards, you were just freaking the fuck out because you assumed there was a giant fucking gap in the middle of your teeth. I thought I was missing
like a whole tooth.
And it ends up that it was the tiniest little piece of tooth that you've gotten fixed and everything's good.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we can make it through tonight's entire episode without an injury.
Yes.
No injuries tonight. We're going to barrel through this thing. And we'll run through that way. All right. So first thing I want to talk about tonight in the world of wrestling is some AEW stuff because I've been down on AEW. Everybody's told me I'm now an AEW hater. And so I took a couple minutes and I kind of reflected and I wanted to figure out why I started out so hot. I was loving AEW. Then all of a sudden it was like, I've cooled off. I'm not feeling this quite the same. Right. And I think I figured it out. I think I figured out what's going on here. There's two reasons, right? One, I think I've purely just kind of burned out on wrestling after they did the 2-week thing where they moved they moved Dynamite to Saturdays.
Yes.
Where we were our weekends were just consumed trying to keep up with watching wrestling. It was Friday SmackDown, Friday Rampage, Saturday is Dynamite, Sunday is a pay-per-view, Thursday's a Crown Jewel, right? It was all over the fucking place. Yeah. It just felt like I felt like I was underwater and I couldn't come up for a fucking breath, right?
Yeah.
The number 2 reason though, I am confused and not in love with the pacing of AEW television shows. Okay, so love it or hate it, WWE, I know what to expect when I'm watching a Raw or a SmackDown, right? My champion is going to be in the main event. Roman Reigns is going to be featured at the end of SmackDown, and Big E's going to be involved at the end of Raw, and I know this, and my brain likes that, and it's my fucking comfort feud, right?
Yeah.
The top of the hours are going to be pretty exciting. We're going to get a cold opening that kind of sets the tone for the night, right? Roman Reigns is probably going to talk first, and he's probably going to talk last.
Yeah.
That's just comfort food for me. That's the way I grew up on wrestling, and that's what my mind processes best. AEW doesn't necessarily do that, right?
Yeah.
1 week, Kenny Omega is the first match of the night. Kenny Omega, Bryan Danielson, here we go. We're going to fucking knock it out the park, and then we're going to run a slant that goes downhill for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
Which is just to say that set such a high bar.
Yeah.
Nothing else lived up to that, right? But then the next week, Kenny Omega is third match. Okay? Then the week after that, he's the main event. Then there's a week where Kenny Omega's not on the show. And it starts to feel like to me, I can't grasp. My brain, it wants this to fit in a neat little box, and AEW doesn't do that. 1 week, CM Punk is on Dynamite. Okay, now he's 3 weeks on Rampage. Now we're going to bring him back to Dynamite. It's hard to keep up with the rhyme or the reason for what is on each episode, and sometimes it feels like they're merely just trying to combat WWE. Now, that could be completely wrong. It's just what it feels like to me. It also feels like in AEW, there's no such thing as a mid-card.
Yeah.
And a mid-card is necessary in professional wrestling. AEW sometimes feels like, to me, it's a bunch of wrestlers competing for the best match of the night.
True.
Nobody understands what the middle of the show is for. That there's energy, right? There's highs and lows, and in AEW, it feels like everybody's just shooting for fucking match of the night, which could be a good thing. I definitely think that could be a good thing. To me, AEW feels more like a book of short stories.
I could see that.
And not a full-length movie, right? It's like a bunch of short wrestling stories that are mashed together in an episode of television because these guys just all work in the same building. It doesn't feel like there's a real cohesive, like an overall, it doesn't feel like someone's looking at the overall script and going, here's how we need to pace this show.
Yeah.
Whereas WWE, to me, for better or worse, usually feels like a fireworks show. It kind of ramps up, right? The fireworks start and you go, oh, they're pretty. Then there's just a middle where they're doing things. And at the end, we get a grand finale. Now that grand finale can fucking fall flat a lot of times, but it's comfort food. WWE just has a certain way they do it. AEW feels more like an episode of Law and Order, right?
Okay.
Well, check this. In an episode of Law and Order, you can watch one Law and Order, right? You turn on TNT, Law and Order's on, and you can watch that one episode and be satisfied.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch the episode before, and I don't need to watch the episode after. I can just watch the one episode and be completely content, right? Because I got Bryan Danielson, I got Jon Moxley, I got CM Punk. I got a good fix of wrestling. But I don't need to have watched the episode before because there's not a lot of context, and it doesn't compel me to have to watch the episode after. It just doesn't do that. Whereas WWE, to me, feels sometimes more like Yellowstone or Game of Thrones.
Yes.
There's an overall arc. Now, people are going to argue this, and I get it, because it's not always there. But I think it's intended to be there.
Yeah.
There's an overall arc that's supposed to lead you to the next pay-per-view, right? Now, they've done a shit job towards Survivor Series as I say this. But when WWE is doing this correctly, it's very satisfying, right?
Yeah.
Each week kind of leads you into the next week. You want to know what's going to happen next week with Kevin Owens now because we finished Monday Night Raw with Kevin Owens' heel turn.
I asked you that. I was like, oh, no.
Yeah, you literally said, what happens from here? And I go, well, this is what I assume, but, we got to tune in next week to find out.
Yeah.
Now, the issue is, I don't think this is necessarily a good or a bad thing from AEW or WWE. It's just two different things. One is my comfort food, right? does it not feel like that more often than not, the best match in Rampage is somewhere in the middle?
Yeah. I always feel like we end it and I'm like,
that was it?
That was the end? Like,
that was it?
What happens next?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think every time we watch, I'm like,
that was it?
Okay.
That's it? That's where we're ending? Like when they did Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega, that should have been last. Just according to how I prefer to view wrestling. Now, they could do it any way they want, and it's working for them. They seem to have an audience that's faithful, but it's just, to me, this is what bothers me. It's not my comfort food. It doesn't... I feel like the best match is hidden in the middle. Now, I have played sports my entire life. And when I played sports at a high level, I was a person who needed a story in order to get up for the moment, right?
Okay.
And I could make that story up in my head. Hey man, that guy's talking shit about me. I don't like that guy. This team doesn't like me. Whatever it was, I gave myself a moment. I don't like the idea of sport for sport. I don't go out and play a sport not to win, not to humiliate my opponent. I'm a bad sport. I get it. I am a bad sport, but it's what made me good at what I did for so long. And I equate that to what AEW is. AEW kind of expects us all to just be excited that Bryan Danielson's in the ring.
yeah.
We don't have a reason why he's in the ring tonight. You should just be excited that Bryan Danielson's in the ring. And some people fucking love that wrestling porn shit, right? There's some people who love that, but I need a compelling story to understand why these two guys are in the ring fake fighting.
Yeah.
Right? Because I am going to buy into this. I'm going to buy into the kayfabe. I'm going to believe this is real, but you got to tell me why. You got to tell me why CM Punk and Eddie Kingston, which they did very well this last week, why are they about to fight each other? And we'll get into that more. That was fucking big, right? But the actual names of wrestlers are such a small part to me. I don't, you throw Bryan Danielson up and say, Bryan Danielson's going to be here tonight. I don't care. Why is he here? What is he upset about? What does he have to prove tonight? That's what I like. And I think if I just learn to adjust my expectations and the way I watch AEW, I will enjoy it a lot more. If I just kind of pick and choose my moments, tune in, tune out, tune in, tune out. Because with WWE, I know I can turn the TV on, watch the cold opening, open my laptop, do some work during the middle of the show, and then get ready for the big finale. With AEW, you've got to be able to turn it on and off, right?
Yeah,
turn it on.
know.
I want to watch this match. Turn it off. Okay, 2 matches later, I'm back involved. A match. That's just the way. That's the way I consume that product. Because I do like AEW a lot.
For sure.
I fucking love MJF.
He's my favorite.
Right? I've gone on record. Chris Jericho is my GOAT. Outside of Roman Reigns, who people think I fucking love. But Chris Jericho is my GOAT of professional wrestling, right? And I'm finding an appreciation for the Darby Allins and the Eddie Kingstons. I'm finding appreciation for all those people. So I do love AEW.
Boy.
It's refreshing. I'm not a big Jungle Boy fan.
I love him.
Don't know why. Maybe it's because he rides on another grown man's back.
That's
that
true.
wears a dinosaur mask. Yeah. That's probably why
Yeah.
I'm not a big Jungle Boy guy, right?
It's a little bit like a 9-year-old boy.
But I get this reputation of being negative, right? And this is a big part is your fault because I see how you edit these clips. I see how you take what I say on the podcast and translate it to TikTok, and it does come off negative. You take anything I say, but that's okay.
It's what the people like.
It's what it's designed to do. I get it. I'm not complaining to that. But the people who say I'm negative, I don't even think I'm negative. I'm extremely critical of the product because every minute that I put into professional wrestling is an investment of my time. As you know, I don't have a ton of free time.
No.
I work on my craft a lot. So when I do decide to take a moment away from my family or my work and watch pro wrestling, I expect it to hit all the fucking notes that I need it to hit, or it's wasting my time.
True.
I'll never be, and this is an admission, I'll never be the hardcore YouTube guy who fucking gets off on the New Japan Pro guys.
Yeah,
that's
me
not
neither.
me. I'm not going to be that guy. The wrestling porn isn't for me. You're never going to tell me, ooh, Bobby Fish is fighting Bryan Danielson. And I don't give a fuck. Why are they fighting?
Yeah.
Why are they fighting? What, you talk shit about his mom? He slapped his sister? Like, I need that. I need that sports entertainment. If that's what the fuck you want to call it, I have to have that.
Yeah.
Because I can't watch two grown men fake fight if I don't have a reason, right? Sure. And I like superheroes. If I'm going to watch television, I need some make-believe. Roman Reigns, I like Roman Reigns because he looks like a fucking superhero.
Yeah. Looks like Aquaman to me.
But he's just a big, larger-than-life guy. I like Drew McIntyre because he looks like he was chiseled from a fucking, like, Greek movie or Roman movie or Scottish warrior, whatever the fuck he is, right? I even like MJF because of how over the top of an asshole he is and how I wish I could talk to people on my daily basis exactly like that. That's what I want, right? That's why I get behind characters. That's what I like, okay? That's what makes it fun for me.
Yeah.
So that leads me to last week's Rampage episode where CM Punk and Eddie Kingston squared off in the ring in a verbal boxing match, right?
Yes.
Look, is it not true? Wrestling's more fucking fun when it feels real.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Now, I don't know much about Eddie Kingston, okay? I don't know what he's fucking done, what he's been through, what CM Punk fucking did to him. But here's me just suspending my disbelief. And then I get moments like this, and I don't know the history between these two guys, but what I do know, it fucking feels like Eddie Kingston doesn't like CM Punk.
Yeah.
It feels like it. And if they're telling a story, goddamn it, they're doing it extremely fucking well. And guess what I'm not going to do?
What?
I'm not going to go research the backstory because I don't need it. I think that ruins what's in front of me. If I go back and go, oh no, they're really friends. Or oh no, they really hate each other. I don't need that information. I'm going to let them tell the story, and I'm going to enjoy the story the way they tell it. When we first started watching AEW about 4.5 months ago, somebody on YouTube, and I don't remember the name, and I fucking hate myself for not remembering this guy's name.
Okay.
Because I think at one point I went out and said MJF was the best promo that I'd ever seen in or was the best current promo in pro wrestling. And he goes, wait for it. Eddie Kingston's the guy.
Yes, I remember
Someone told us that, right?
Yeah.
And weeks went by and it just felt like Eddie Kingston wasn't on TV. Then all of a sudden we get this Rampage moment and it sure fucking looks like it to me. It looks like Eddie Kingston's the real deal to me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with Eddie Kingston, so this is all new to me. But it looks like it to me. Now, I've been down on CM Punk these last couple of weeks, right? I've talked my shit, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I've had some big epiphany and changed my mind on him. I don't think he by any means carried that moment or that promo, but he did exactly what he needed to do to allow Eddie Kingston that moment to shine and kind of rise up to a new level, at least in my eyes, right?
Yeah, for sure.
He did his job. That was his job. And it's weird for me because I'm used to CM Punk being the ornery one, the curmudgeon, the pissed off guy. And what it looks like is he's allowing Eddie Kingston to take that light, and he was the star of the moment. And I don't discount that was by design, right? I'm sure CM Punk has his hand in writing that story and how this plays out. But I definitely have found my reason to watch Full Gear.
Yeah.
The pay-per-view. Because I was off. I was looking at AEW. I was just like, right now, Darby Allin MJF doesn't excite me. The Chris Jericho with the top team, it's okay, but it's not compelling. I'm not a huge Adam Hangman Page guy right now. Just I don't have enough time watching him. So I don't understand the trials and tribulations that he's been through to get where he is. So there was no reason. This is it. This is the reason I'm going to watch Full Gear, right?
Okay.
But my problem once again with AEW is, wouldn't this have been nice to have like a 2 or 3 week build up to this match?
Yeah.
It just kind of came out of nowhere. Then we get one Friday where they're talking shit. Hopefully this week we expand on that a little bit and get a little bit more of CM Punk and Eddie Kingston in the ring. But it would have been nice to get more of a build up towards this match. Now, there is one thing I want to address, okay? It's this argument that people have been trying to come at me with that I don't understand what CM Punk is doing. I 100% understand what he's attempting to do. I 100% understand that he's been gone from wrestling for 7 years.
Yeah.
And that they're slow playing him back in. And he's got to build up, wrestling immunities,
and
basically. And endurance and things like that. I get it. But even though I get it, it's not what I don't agree with the way they're utilizing him. I don't think it was the best use of CM Punk, right? I would have liked to seen CM Punk come out night one, boom, blows the lid off the arena. They did that perfectly.
Yeah.
Then after that, I would have liked to have seen CM Punk come out and start to antagonize and go after the old heads of AEW. Chris Jericho, Matt Hardy, Christian, the guys who've been around a long time, overstayed their welcome.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen him assemble a super team, right? Of Darby Allin, Dante Martin, these young guys who have been overlooked.
Yeah.
And just be the voice of the overlooked. Like collecting the toys from the Misfit Island, right?
Yeah.
The Misfit wrestlers, collecting these guys, these indie darlings, and putting together a team. Because I understand you can't jump in and wrestle after 7 years. You don't have that. But wrestling, CM Punk doesn't have to wrestle to be relevant.
True.
In fact, I'd argue that every week that he wrestles, it takes a little bit of the magic away.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of the magic. He goes from what I had like wrestling God to every week I see, oh, he's human.
Yeah.
He's still human.
Got to get better still.
And then at his age, I keep saying it, he's a beat down 40 something. Mm-hmm. That, I don't know how long he wants to do this. I don't think he's got another 10 years in him. I think this is going to be a 2 to 3 year run for CM Punk. I think he's going to build himself up. He's going to put someone over, and then he'll either go to the announcing booth or manage or just a back like a producer's role. He'd be a hell of a producer for AEW. That's where they should try to utilize him, right? But being on the mic is CM Punk's best point. That's a strong point, right?
Yeah.
Being the voice of the underappreciated, going after Chris Jericho, telling him, man, your time is up. It's time to move on. Going after Matt Hardy. You've overstayed your welcome, right?
Yeah.
Dan Lambert, the American Top Team guy.
Yes.
CM Punk could fill that role easily.
Oh, yeah.
Just being the mouthpiece for guys who need a mouthpiece. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt fucking Darby Allin, the microphone is fucking cancer to him. He can't talk. He does everything in the ring extremely well. He's got a good character.
Yeah.
But he can't. MJF is showing. He just can't talk. Imagine CM Punk being the voice of Darby Allin and talking that shit and having the band of misfits do his bidding.
That would be pretty cool.
I would have loved that.
It helps bring personality to those who don't have personality.
Definitely. Dante Martin, a guy who we've seen. You said you were the first one to tell me that guy's fucking talented.
Yeah. Mark Henry said the first time that he saw him, he was like, you definitely used to wrestle in a mask. He's like, because you have no facial
expressions, and you're not great on a microphone. And so instead they put Leo Rush with him.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with Leo Rush, but he's not CM Punk. CM Punk can immediately elevate these guys to a fucking upper echelon of wrestling.
Yeah.
But AEW's got to shit or get off the pot with CM Punk, I think, right?
It's too much walking the line. I'm kind of mean, but I'm not mean. I don't know what's going on with me, but...
And maybe they are. Cool. Maybe this Eddie Kingston is the beginning of that. Hopefully it is, right?
Yeah.
But let's be honest for a second. What did he really do for Darby Allin? He didn't put Darby Allin over.
No.
He didn't give Darby Allin some, breath of fresh air and put a whole new set of eyes. People who know Darby Allin, and CM Punk didn't put that many more eyes on top of Darby Allin.
No.
So then we talk about Eddie Kingston, right? Because he's basically, what he's doing now is he's elevating Eddie Kingston, right?
Okay.
But Eddie Kingston's 39 years old. And I get it. People go, oh man, these wrestlers, they can work into their 40s. Yeah, they definitely can. But you're not building new stars in their 40s. For what? So they have a 5-year run?
True.
It's not, we're going to talk about WWE has a new rule that I think is interesting. But
okay.
At 39 years old, that's not putting over youth, Punk.
Yeah.
You're putting over another older guy. Now, maybe you owe this guy something. Maybe this just feels like the right story. And look, I'm okay with that because that's what I've been arguing is just give me the best product. And this definitely feels like the best product. But don't sit around and tell me that CM Punk is putting over the youth because at 39 years old, that's not youth, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of the you got to be patient method. Everybody keeps going, oh, you got to be patient. You got to see the bigger picture with CM Punk, right? He's building something.
What?
Man, his old ass has already complained that he's hurting. I've seen in a couple interviews where he said his body's hurting. He's,
really?
The bumps are hurting him. I feel like you have to fucking light the fire when the gas tank is full. And when he came back to professional wrestling, he set the whole world on fire. I feel like when he came back to professional wrestling, he was a wrestling god. I felt like, I mean, every person thought, holy shit, CM Punk is back.
Fuck yeah.
And I really feel like each and every week that he wrestles, he becomes human. That like the armor falls off.
I get what you're saying 100%. Yes.
It's like, oh, like they would have been so much better allowing him to lead this group of misfit wrestlers while he's training in the back, training, you know, pre-fights, go train before the fucking match starts, wrestle whoever you want, build up your endurance, and then come back and come back with a big splash. This beating up the mid card, I get it. Like, I understand what you guys say he's doing. I don't know what the payoff is. True. I really don't. True. Do we want to see CM Punk with a championship? I don't. I think the AEW is so crowded at the fucking top, and I think CM Punk's a guy who doesn't need a title to be relevant.
Yeah.
So what are we building to with CM Punk? Okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's transition into some WWE stuff here.
All right.
What do I got here? Oh, okay. So we got to talk about the Nightmare release party or whatever the fuck they're calling this, right? The WWE releases. There was like 20 wrestlers released. Keith Lee, Nia Jax, Carrion Cross, Grand Metallic, Lince Dorado, Eva Marie, B-Fab, Brianna Brandy, Harry Smith, Scarlett Bordeaux, One Lorcan, Frankie Monet, Ember Moon, Mia Yim, Trey Baxter, Jesse Camilla, Jeet Rama, Zeta Ramir, Katrina Cortez. I'm gonna tell you one thing about this list. It's a bunch of fucking names I've never heard before.
Katrina Cortez?
NXT.
Okay.
NXT. And I don't watch NXT. Like, I don't watch college football. You know why I don't watch college football? It's not the best of the best. I watch WWE, I watch Raw, SmackDown, and I watch Rampage and Dynamite, because that's where the top talent is wrestling. Like I said, my time is extremely fucking valuable, and I'm not going to waste it on NXT. You know when I watch the NXT people? When they're good enough to be on Raw and SmackDown. That's when I'll watch them, right?
I'm earned.
All right, so let's be realistic. This is the nature of the wrestling business. More importantly, this is the nature of business.
Okay. Not
everybody can get a paycheck, right? And if you're constantly clamoring for fresh new talent, right? Everybody's big on this Braun Breaker guy from NXT. Okay. I have heard the rumblings of that, right? So if you want those people to eventually ascend to the main roster, you got to cut fat somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to get, like, there's a reason I haven't heard of a lot of these names. Mm-hmm. They weren't relevant enough to reach my radar.
True.
So I don't, it always sucks that someone loses a paycheck. I get that, right? But if there's no foreseeable plan for these people, why do you keep them locked into a contract?
I couldn't agree
more. Why do
you
keep them locked? Yeah, there's stability. They can pay for their food and family, but most of these people have aspirations to hit a higher level. Most of these people aren't content just getting a paycheck. Most of these people want to move up to the next level. They want to be on the main event. Everybody aspires to be the champion of some kind. Tag team, the Intercontinental, United States, AEW, whatever. Everybody aspires. So when I look at this list, like I said, a lot of names I don't recognize. There are a few surprises to me. Okay. One, Carrion Cross. This guy seemed like when he was NXT that he was on a path of fucking destruction.
Yeah.
Then he debuts on the main roster and he gets squashed right off the bat. And we should have known right there that was the beginning of the end. For whatever reason, they didn't have faith that was going to translate over onto the main roster.
Yeah.
So it seems to me it's a guy, if they don't know what to do with him, why are they keeping him around, right? Mm-hmm. Eva Marie. Eva Marie seems to me like she kind of has a come and go relationship with WWE, similar to what kind of Kelly had for a while, right? I don't think that there's any problem between her and WWE.
Yeah.
Any bad blood. I think it's just, we're not going to pay you while you make a movie.
True.
When you're done with all that shit and you want to come back and have another little run, they'll probably open their arms up and say, come back. Yeah. But I just think they're not going to pay her while she's got other projects going on. And she probably booked a schedule full of other things.
Yeah.
More power to her, right? Whatever. Nia Jax. Now, I'm not the Nia Jax fan. You know that, right?
I'm in agreement with
I think
you.
she's very boring, but I think Nia Jax is like a key holder to The Rock, right? Because she's her relationship with The Rock. I don't know if they're cousins, something like that. There's some kind of relationship between her and The Rock, family wise, right?
Yeah.
And so, you wonder, did The Rock have to okay this? Does Vince McMahon run this by The Rock?
And say, well, do you think we could just keep her on a little bit longer, Vince? And he's
Well,
no.
Or is there something going on? Does she have? I read something about mental health issues, which is cool, man. Go get yourself straight. But if I'm AEW, I am fucking backing up a money truck for Nia Jax. Number one, their women's division is fucking weak.
You think she's
It's
worth
very
getting?
weak. Well, let me tell you why. Because I think that is the first door you knock down to getting The Rock to start to look into AEW.
I guess that's
If
true.
you start bringing in some family, you start bringing in some people that he's close to, you just get him to look that way. And a nod from The Rock in professional wrestling is huge.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you can knock down that door, if you can get him to just tweet, right? Hey man, check out my girl Nia Jax. That goes out to like billions of fucking people.
Yeah, that's true.
And most of them are wrestling fans, right? Or you get him just to co-sign and be like, oh, shout out for signing Nia Jax. I feel like she's a key holder. And I also feel like that in AEW, there's more opportunity for female wrestlers right now than there are for male.
Okay.
It's crowded in that male division. They got a lot of wrestlers
You're saying
on contract.
there's less women?
Less women and less notable names, right? When I turn on AEW, I've said this numerous times, they all fucking look alike. They all look alike.
Yeah.
I have a hard time
the same costume
differentiating these girls, and Nia Jax looks very different. And she's also recognizable. And we saw this with Ruby Riott, right? Ruby Riott left WWE, went to AEW, and all of a sudden she went from somebody I didn't give a fuck about to now somebody I'm supposed to care about.
No, I agree.
I feel like Nia Jax, we're not talking talent, okay? We're just talking about the status, right? She had a higher status in WWE than Ruby Riott. So that would translate over to AEW, I think, right?
Okay.
Now you got BFAB. BFAB was the one in
she's the girl group.
What do they call? I forgot what they're called. I didn't even write it down. Whatever.
Okay.
Weird that she got called up and then let go.
That was so weird.
And I read today that they had her sign a main roster contract when she got called up, which immediately put in a 90-day no compete. So they call her up, have her sign a contract, let her go, and I believe by design, they've now got her out of wrestling for 90 days. So AEW can't sign her.
That's bullshit.
That's the dirty shit that gets WWE a bad reputation, right?
No, I agree 100% with you.
So I told you earlier, I was saying something about a new rule in WWE. Apparently the new rule, it's the unspoken rule in WWE is that they will not hire any new women under the age of 25. I mean, over the age of 25.
Okay, I was like, wait a
over
minute.
the age of 25.
Okay.
They're looking for young, fresh talent.
That they can keep for a couple years.
I think they've got, what it is they've got a good crop of women's talent in the 25 to like 35-year-old range.
Yeah.
And that will translate for the next 10 years. It's time to start creating that next generation and fill in the gaps in the younger areas.
Yeah.
I mean, interesting. I don't know. Interesting enough, researched for about an hour today on how old BFAB is. That information does not exist on the internet.
How old is she?
It just doesn't exist. Like, you cannot figure out.
Is she 25? 35?
I don't know.
45?
I have no fucking clue.
55?
And I'm terrible at looking at someone's picture and guessing how old they are. She could be, to me, anywhere from like 23 to fucking 42.
I'm thinking like late 20s.
Late 20s? Mm-hmm. That's possible. But that would break their rule. And if they have no plan, why keep them going, right?
Yeah.
The truth is about this, right? AEW will pick through these remains and they'll pick up anything that they think is worth the time. Maybe a Keith Lee, maybe a Nia Jax, maybe a BFAB, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest are on their own to go sink or swim.
True.
Right? I mean, you've got to go find a place to wrestle and prove that WWE made a mistake. That's always the goal, right? Is to, when you get let go, is to go prove that was a mistake and make them pay for that mistake. Just look at it as an opportunity. Don't Don't sit and dwell on it. It's an opportunity to go. If you weren't getting TV time, you were dead in the water anyway.
Yeah.
Look at it as a blessing that you get to go figure out how do I recreate myself.
True.
But come Royal Rumble, we don't remember this shit. Right? Mm-hmm. January, none of us remember these fucking names. We don't care where these people went for the most part. There'll be a whole new crop of superstars that are ready to shoot their fucking shot.
True.
That's wrestling, man. That's business. That's just how it fucking goes. All right. That leads me to, we got some weird news on social media this week. So after WWE has literally acted as Survivor Series didn't exist, all of a sudden we get a surprise announcement that here's your Survivor Series teams, right? And so that's the most lazy way to build a pay-per-view I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Was literally just, here they are. And then on this week's Raw, we started seeing some stories develop from that. But we had a good feeling of what this card was going to be. I was pretty spot on when I called this card out a couple weeks ago. We know we're getting Big E versus Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. And I've given my opinion on that. Big E needs that win more than Roman Reigns does.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We're getting Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. That's a toss-up. I don't know who needs that win. I don't think either of them really need it. It may just be a way to further another storyline. I
agree.
In that, in a disqualification or something. I think, though, with the real heat that they have between the two of them, they could build this to something long-term. Build up a hate relationship all the way to WrestleMania would be interesting. We got the Usos versus RK Bro, we assume. Tag team champions versus tag team champions. Should be a good match. Uh-huh. That's four people that I like to watch wrestle in a ring. Exactly. Damien Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I like Shinsuke, but this match, I have zero interest in this match at all. With no build-up, that fucking 2 mid-card titles.
Then it's just random.
What does it matter if one of these guys win? There's nothing, literally nothing at stake. They'll pretend like it didn't happen 2 weeks from now. Uh-huh. Then we get the women's Survivor Series match. And I called this pretty close here. Bianca Belair, who is clearly moved on from Becky Lynch, which is good. I said she needed to. It was time.
Yeah, for
now,
sure.
she's in a thing with Doudrop, who I can't fucking stand. I fucking cannot stand Doudrop.
I'm in agreement.
I cannot stand. I hope Becky Lynch beats the life out of her.
Understand what the fuck her gimmick is.
I don't either. Someone told me, and I looked it up, and I still don't fucking understand it. It's based on some old wrestler. To me, she looks like an oversized baby. That's what she looks like to me. You said she looks like Baby Spice had too many donuts. Yeah. That's what she looks like to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's fucking, I get it, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. That's what she looks like to me. So happy that Bianca's moved on. We'll see what comes from that, right?
True.
Zelina Vega. Zelina and Carmella, both on the team. That should be interesting because they've kind of, they got a little buddy thing going on. That'll be fun. Then Rhea Ripley with no Nikki Ash, which I always think is weird when you get one half of a tag team. Yeah.
Maybe they're trying to kind of separate them a little bit.
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, Rhea Ripley is the more interesting of the two. As we said last week, Nikki Ash is that's a terrible character. Yeah. So stupid. And then we got Liv Morgan, who in the Fatal 5-Way match looked extremely good. It was, I called it. I knew Liv Morgan was going to win, but I think everybody could have fucking called it. I'm not touting myself on that. It was pretty obvious where they were going. But that's a cool team. I'm good with that. I like that 5. I have no problems there.
Would you change anybody?
No, I don't think. I mean, when I looked at what was left when they did the little segment in the back, no, they nailed that right on the fucking head, right? Yeah. Then we go SmackDown. Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi Black, Shotzi.
I always want to call her Shotzi.
I was Shlotsky. Shotzi Blackheart, I think is her name. Natalia, and I think the last one's Mariah. I don't know her name. Okay. I don't know anything about her. Obviously, this is a way to introduce her into the fold. Cool. All good with that. Natalia, tried and true. Nothing wrong there. Shotzi's come onto the scene. I've enjoyed that. Shayna Baszler, as much as I dislike her, she's intimidating and she's a good wrestler. She's not interesting, but she's a good wrestler. I guess fits in here. And then Sasha Banks is perfect for this, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to, there's interesting storylines you can connect with Sasha and Bianca. I think we'll get some fun stuff there. You're going to get Shotzi and Sasha don't like each other. So there's all kinds of inner storylines that'll play out here. Prediction, if I have to predict who's going to win this match.
Okay, what is it?
I think it's Team Raw. I think Team Raw wins this match. I think that...
Traitor.
I think Liv Morgan gets the pin. Gets the final pin. Liv Morgan survives.
I could see that happening.
I think they're building Liv. I think they're building Liv, and I think it's good. I think she wins the match. It may come down to... I could see it coming down to Liv Morgan and Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
Although I could see Shotzi and Sasha getting in some kind of fight that gets them eliminated. I don't know. Interesting, though. This looks fun. This looks like fun.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now we got the men here. Okay?
Okay.
And in the men's match, this is where it gets to me annoying. We got Team Raw, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, had Dominic Mysterio. Then all of a sudden, we're just going to beat the life out of that poor kid and insert Bobby Lashley. Weren't we supposed to believe that Bobby Lashley was like dead or something?
Yeah, I thought
Wasn't that the belief that Goldberg beat the life out of him? But now Goldberg's gone and Bobby's back. Bobby's back, baby.
That's what I want to say. Bobby's back.
Nothing wrong with this team. It's 5 guys that have all been previous WWE champions. Like Seth Rollins, he's fucking great. Of course, Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins will be at each other's throat. Finn Balor will just be there. Rey Mysterio, who I've enjoyed these last couple weeks. Someone that I didn't normally love. I've enjoyed Rey the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
And then boring Bobby Lashley.
Yeah,
But,
boring Bobby.
But he's a big motherfucker.
I always thought Rey Mysterio was dead, by the way.
I think that's Eddie Guerrero that you're referring to.
Yeah, I don't know.
Then we go to the SmackDown side, and I look at the SmackDown team, and while it's a collection of good wrestlers, it's uninteresting because there's not really any dissension inside the team. You got Drew McIntyre, who's been on the Open Challenge raid.
Yes.
You got Jeff Hardy. Here we fucking go again.
God.
Jeff Hardy. It's like Jeff. Hey, what's Jeff doing? He's got nothing to do. Just put him in a match. Just put him in the match. Just let him go wrestle, right?
Yeah.
Got King Xavier, King Woods.
Like him.
I'm going to get into that in a minute. Fucking love him. Sami Zayn, love him. Happy Corbin, love him. Great collection of wrestlers, minus Jeff Hardy. But I don't know how interesting this is going to be. I think they win. I think they win just based on the fact that the team, the Raw team, there's going to be so much infighting and there's stories building within that group of guys that are more important than winning a Survivor Series match.
True.
So that leads me to, let's see, where was I here? I don't like that when I click that button, it changes that. Okay, so here's what I am surprised about. Why is Kofi not a part of the Survivor Series match? Kofi has been fucking great lately as Hand of the King.
Yeah.
The whole Kofi Xavier thing has been like fucking perfect. Best. Why is Jeff Hardy in this match? Why? What the fuck? Like, I get it. People like Jeff Hardy, but he has no fucking business. This should have been Drew McIntyre, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Sami Zayn, and Happy Corbin. That's what the team should have been.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Give Jeff something else to do. Fucking give him something else to do. Let him go get in the fucking match with Damien Priest and Shinsuke. Just get him the fuck out of these things that actually have purpose, right?
True.
Now, this may be a way too early overreaction, which I tend to do, right? Get excited. I'm excited. Xavier, King Woods could possibly be the best king of the ring I have ever witnessed with my eyes. I've seen WWE footage of King Booker. I know King Booker was really good.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I've never been impressed with like King Sheamus. Shinsuke wasn't a great king.
He did have a great dance move though.
He was okay. I mean, his entrance?
Yeah.
Is that dancing?
Yeah.
Is that dance? Is that what he does?
Yeah.
I just thought he was like convulsing.
No, that's dancing. Definitely.
Whatever, right? But yeah, maybe this is a way too early overreaction, but I do think fucking you talk about like sometimes I said when WWE gets it right.
Yeah.
And they got this right with King Woods. It's fucking, oh God, it's good. He's so good. He's so good at this. And Zelina's been good, but he is just next level. What have we been missing all these years with not having a fucking King Xavier? And
Everything.
Kofi, you talk about a selfless motherfucker.
Yeah.
A guy who a couple years ago was in the main event of WrestleMania. And you talk about like real friendship and guys who just, they're fucking like, that's a grade A person because he's all about this Xavier Woods moment. And
definitely.
He's going to be right there on the side playing support. And it just takes that character from a fucking A to an A++. It's like, this is great. This is why I love wrestling. Mm-hmm. Roman Reigns, he needed that antithesis. He needed that opposite, that yin and yang.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knew that it might have been Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston?
I didn't.
Who fucking knew that like Xavier Woods might step up to the plate? I asked a couple weeks ago, I said, who stands in the way of Roman Reigns? It might fucking be Xavier Woods. It's a high possibility that Xavier Woods could at some point be the man to dethrone Roman Reigns. And you know, I fucking love the head of the table. I fucking love the tribal chief, but Jesus Christ, Xavier Woods is good at his fucking job. And I do believe there is a chance he could be the next WWE Universal Champion. And God damn it, he deserves that shit.
Yeah, for sure.
He definitely deserves that shit. Yeah, he's got a little excited there, right?
I like it. I like that excitement. Keep it going.
So here we go. Let's end the night by talking about Monday Night Raw. Okay. Kevin Owens heel turn. Fucking, this has been good. Raw has been good. After I detoxed, I had about 4 or 5 weeks before the draft where I let Raw go. It had gotten so bad. Do you remember the days when we were talking about Bobby Lashley was the champion?
Yes, I remember.
That was what we had to look forward to. Mm-hmm. There was no Bianca Belair. We were watching Charlotte Flair.
I agree.
That's what Raw was. So I detoxed from Raw. I've come back with a fresh set of eyes after the draft, and fucking Kevin Owens has been phenomenal. Now, that was a stupid way to end the match. The whole Biggie, wasn't he in the way?
Yeah.
Didn't love that. He could have sold that just a little bit better. Mm-hmm. It felt weird.
Do you think he was really mad?
We both were like, what happened here? What was that? He was supposed
I asked you.
He was in the way? What? Okay. Don't really get it.
Yeah.
But Kevin Owens heel turn? Oh, I'm all about that. I'm ready for just certain guys feel right in that heel position, and Kevin is one of them.
So
I'm so ready.
Make a good heel.
Oh, he's been a good heel. That's what he does. He does it well. He's condescending. He's a little fucking smart ass and smug. That's what he does. It's what Kevin Owens does, right?
Yeah.
But here's the problem. If we're going to do this, if we're going to turn Kevin Owens heel, and we know he's got like 2 months left on his contract, they better fucking back that money truck up for Kevin Owens. They better find a way to keep Kevin Owens happy and in WWE, because he has dropped hint after hint about wanting to go to AEW, and they've got to back that fucking truck up and go, you're not leaving, man. You can't afford to leave. You've got a family, and this is a lot of money, and you can't leave. And we're going to do you right. We're going to put you in the main events with Big E and Seth Rollins.
Yes.
And you're going to run Monday Night Raw. And so far, he has lived up to everything that I thought Kevin Owens should be. Mm-hmm. He got buried for a hot minute, just like fucking in the middle of SmackDown, just doing nothing, right? All of a sudden now he's back on Monday Night Raw, and he's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
But you can't build him up and let him go. They have to have some indication or some idea, some conversation has to have been had between WWE and Kevin Owens that goes, if this all goes to plan, we're going to back up the money truck and we're going to keep you here, right?
Yeah.
Now, moving forward from that, someone dropped a comment on one of our videos about Seth Rollins.
Okay.
And they said Seth Rollins is possibly a better mid-card wrestler than he is main eventer. Mm-hmm. And I I almost overreacted. I almost did my typical, hey, fuck you, buddy.
Fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself, right?
Yeah.
But this is the new Savant.
Uh-huh.
I took a step back, really looked into what he said, and It was a well thought out comment.
Okay.
Now, do I 100% agree with that? No. Seth Rollins needs to be in the main event. Do I think that there's some key things you can take away from that are actually compliments? Yes. I think it just furthers what I said. Seth Rollins doesn't need the belt to be relevant. He doesn't need the Raw Championship. He doesn't need the Universal Championship. He doesn't need the Intercontinental Championship. He doesn't need the United States Championship. Seth Rollins just needs to be Seth Rollins, and he's fun to watch.
Oh, yeah.
Get lots of people go, oh, I fucking hate this character. But that's by design, buddy. He's doing exactly what he wants. He's supposed to annoy you. The subtle nuances of how, like, in his entrance, I showed you how he switches from, like, the burn it down and the music's serious.
Yeah.
And then it switches to the and he goes goofy. And
Yes.
It's like
that
this spastic role of, like, aren't I a fucking crazy person? And it's been really good. And so I think it's a compliment to say he's a better mid-card performer, because I think what that says is basically he doesn't need the belt. And I do believe that if Big E can't find a way to become more interesting, that belt is going to find its way back to Seth Rollins, because that belt needs Seth Rollins more than Seth Rollins needs that belt. So I don't think that was a negative comment. I think it was actually a well thought out comment. And it's shit like that. I like that because it gets me thinking and allows me to do it. And it just kind of reiterated my point that Seth Rollins doesn't need the title to be relevant. Now, last thing I want to jump into here was, I just want to take a second. I want to give props to Randy fucking Orton. Randy Orton has been a fucking constant in WWE for the last fucking 25 years. I don't know how long he's been in it, but for a long time, Randy Orton, I don't feel like I've ever watched Randy Orton wrestle and thought, man, Randy Orton had a bad match.
Because he's motherfucking Randy Orton.
He's Randy Orton, right?
Yeah, you just expect him to be good.
There's been times I go, oh, they're wasting Randy Orton, or he's not overly fucking exciting. I don't think Randy Orton ever gives me fucking just flawless, great excitement, but he's just a fucking constant. Every time he's in there, I'm paying attention.
Yeah, the first time we went to wrestling, he was my first wrestler I liked.
Yeah, well, and I could see why. He's fucking smooth. He moves. He just, like, he is the epitome of a wrestler, right?
Yeah.
Now, at 41 years old, there's a stark difference in him and, like, CM Punk and some of these guys that I hate on. This guy clearly is fucking taking care of himself.
Yeah.
He's a young 41. Where I say CM Punk is an old 40-something.
Yeah.
Randy Orton is a young 41, it feels like.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he's slowing down. I look at him in the ring with Riddle and some of those guys, the Street Profits and some of those guys, and I don't go, oh, Randy looks old. I go, God damn, Randy looks fucking good. He's good. Yeah. Everything he does is sharp. It's fucking, it's consistent. He's fucking consistent. And then I look across the ring and you know what I saw?
What?
Omos. And I go,
God.
I go, oh, he's fucking everything. He's everything that Randy Orton's not.
Yeah, he's fucking
not consistent.
Stands there.
He's a fucking waste of space. He has to know he's bad, right?
I don't think so.
Like, does he possess that self-awareness? Does Omos possess that self-awareness to know, like, I'm not good at this?
I think they literally tell him, like, you're so good.
I'm not good at this. Because, like, if you look back, if you just look, you don't speak English. I think he speaks English.
Well,
he's missing a lot of fucking teeth.
He doesn't speak
He's
English.
missing a lot of teeth. When I saw inside his teeth, and I don't have good teeth. I know I don't have, I try to hide my teeth all the fucking time.
I swear.
I don't have good teeth.
In my mind,
what?
I've dreamed that he doesn't speak English because
he speaks English.
I never.
He definitely speaks English. He 100% he speaks English. The fact that you're dreaming about Omos,
well, I don't dream about Omos, worrisome, but like
slightly.
Yeah, I mean, he just doesn't do anything, so I just assume like he doesn't even speak English in my mind.
But he's got to know he's bad, right? Because you look at the Giants, because that's what he is. He's a giant.
Yeah.
He's a spectacle.
Yeah.
He's obviously not a super talented wrestler. Like, no. Like, I felt like last week, or it was like 2 weeks ago, AJ Styles jumped up on the side of the ring, right? Yeah. Show him your kick, Omos! Omos did a fucking kick. It wasn't even that impressive. I felt like we were supposed to go like, oh, yay. Omos did a kick.
He got in the ring.
Omos can do wrestling moves. Like, when you look at the Giants that came before him,
yeah,
he's not the Big Show. He's never going to be the Big Show, right?
No.
He's not even Braun Strowman.
I was literally just thinking
He'll
about
never
him.
be Braun Strowman. Like,
But not
any
Damien.
day of the week, you put these two guys side by side, and I'm picking Braun Strowman. Any day of the week. Just fucking look, fucking talent, athleticism. Let's go Undertaker, Kane, all those big guys. Also,
Luchasaurus.
I'm taking Luchasaurus over fucking Omos.
Me too.
I'm just, they're more graceful in the ring. He's got to know he's bad, right?
Yeah.
He's got to
I don't
know
think
he's
he
bad,
knows.
right?
I don't think he knows.
Did you catch Corey Graves during the match trying to sell? How did he move so fast?
Yes.
I'm like, how did he move at all? His knees don't bend.
Yes.
He's so stiff.
I feel like he's like a statue that just stands there.
I feel like he is a short man on stilts, and he is fooling us all. His knees don't bend.
I've never
He
noticed
is
that.
so stiff. He is the stiffest motherfucker in a wrestling ring I have ever seen in my life, and they protect him so fucking much. WWE, what are you doing with Omos? They protect him. They keep him over on that side. They fucking tell us he's a giant. He's fucking AJ Styles' own personal fucking monster or whatever they call him. I'm like, no, he's just a really big, slow guy. I've met so many of those guys in my life. Unathletic. God made them really fucking tall. But he's a spectacle. He's tall, unathletic, stiff, bad knees. I am confident right now, as bad a shape as I'm in, with my fucked up back, one-on-one with Omos, I win that fight 9 times out of 10.
Damn.
9 times out of 10. You just got to run circles around the guy. There's nothing impressive to me about Omos. And he's one of those guys where WWE gets behind them and it's just a waste of fucking time. They're wasting AJ Styles' time. They're wasting RK Bros' time. They're wasting the Street Profits' time. They're fucking wasting Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode's time.
Yeah, for
They're
sure.
wasting these guys' time because it's not believable. Nobody's buying it.
No.
I have not run into one fucking person, and we'll see when this video posts. I've not run into one fucking person who tells me A, their favorite wrestler is Omos, or B, they're even a fucking Omos fan. 90% of the comments I hear about Omos is how he's fucking wasting the last few years of AJ Styles' fucking career.
True.
This has been another episode of the 7 Burning Questions with the Wrestling Savant. Not the 7 burning questions.
No.
It's not 7. I didn't change that. It's just the burning questions. Because 7 was getting hard to figure out. So this has been another episode of the Burning Questions with the Wrestling Savant. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit us up on TikTok. Leave us a comment. You can email us at pwsavant questions at pwsavant.com.
Okay.
As always, I'm your savant and savior, Nerdy D. That is the Lioness Lauren, and let's ring that final bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the mic, he is the Pro Wrestling Savant, the host of the hottest